Good morning. Dear colleagues, my students, my name is Assistant Professor Husnu Turanli. I'm a lawyer. Yes, I'm pravnik. And the previous people from Turkey have already made a very wonderful presentation. I would like to thank them, first of all. They have introduced very nice things. And I need to remind you that today, 23rd April, is the celebration of the International Children's Day, actually. And we celebrate it in Turkey for the inauguration of the parliamentary system in Turkey in 1920. So that's a nice coincidence for us to have it. Since I'm a lawyer, I need to make a different aspect of presentation for Turkey over here. And that will last just like 15 minutes. Don't worry about it, not too long. Okay. Okay, first of all, this is the link that goes to Turkey. Okay, so if you want to visit on internet Turkey, just you can use goturkey.com. And as our friends have already explained, the Republic of Turkey was established in 1923, and our founder, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. And the history of Turks in Anatolia goes back to the years of 1071, starting with Seljuk Turks, and after the Ottoman Empire, and Turkey in Europe and the Middle East. It's like kind of bridge between Europe and Asia. And here are some information on Turkey. And the government type is Republican parliamentary democracy. And Turks speak Turkish and live mostly in Turkey. Population is 75 million people, and there are ethnic groups like 80% Turkish, 12% Kurdish, and other minorities 8%. Languages Kurdish, Turkish official, Kurdish and other minority languages. Religion Muslims 99.8%, and the others mostly Christians and Jews. And the median age is 28.5. That's relatively young age for such a huge population. And economy, free market economy. Industries, basically textile, food processing, automobiles, electronics, mining, and steel, petroleum, construction, lumber, and paperwork. And 70% of the population live in urban areas. The major cities populations are around, like Istanbul, 15 million. Ankara went up to 6 million actually, and Izmir 3.5 million. And the mandatory education in Turkey is 12 years. And gross domestic product is over $1 trillion, and that is the 17th largest economy in the world. And the growth rate is 4.6 last year. And the per capita went up to $14,000 and $14,600 as of 2012. And basic sectors for economy are agriculture, industry, and services. Labor force is around 27 million people. Inflation rate as of last year was 7.8%. Industrial production growth rate is 8.5% last year. Pipelines, there is a huge pipelines and ongoing construction still between Georgia and Turkey. And airports are 100. Universities, 170 universities are active in Turkey. And TV channels are around 300. Radio channels, 800. Tourists, every year we welcome over 20 million tourists in Turkey. And a little bit about Turkish legal system. Since I'm a lawyer, I need to mention, of course. And our constitution states that sovereignty is vested unconditionally in the nation, and people exercise their sovereignty directly through elections and indirectly through authorized bodies of the state. And there is rule of law. I'm sure that you have already heard about that rule of law principle. And no person or agency can exercise any state authority which does not emanate from the Constitution. And legislative power is vested in the Turkish Grand National Assembly. Executive power and duties are carried out by the President and by the Council of Ministers, and judiciary power is exercised by independent courts. About the fundamental rights and freedoms, the Constitution of the Republic of Turkey provides a guarantee for every person's right to lead a dignified life in a civilized and legal system, as well as to develop one's material and spiritual entity through the exercise of his/her fundamental rights and freedoms set forth by the Constitution in line with the principles of equality and social justice. Secularism is the principle that the basic social, economic, political, and legal order of the state may not even partially rely on religious rules. I'm not going to get into the details of these whole things, but about the fundamental bodies of state, actually there is the rule of separation of the powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary. And legislature, as I already mentioned, it goes under the Turkish Grand National Assembly. It includes 550 deputies. And the executive, we have president at the top, and comes the Council of Ministers, the cabinet. And there are a number of different institutions that go under the executive. And the judiciary is exercised by independent courts on behalf of the Turkish nation. Yeah, these are some details. And our foreign policy is based on the principle that was addressed by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, peace at home, peace in the world. And we are a member of NATO, OECD, OSCE, and WTO, and Turkey is a candidate for full membership to European Union, as you know. And our national defense is based on the Prime Minister that goes, the Ministry of National Defense, Ministry of Interior, and there's Turkish General Staff, Land, Naval, Air Force Commands. And our guys already mentioned about traditional dances, horon and things, more cultural issues, and not to mention. It's actually, Turkey is a cradle of civilizations. There have been a number of civilizations that have passed through Turkey. So it's a mixture, a composition of different civilizations. You can see their traces in everywhere of the country, as a matter of fact. And these are some sceneries from our famous tourist attractions. And Alanya Ölüdeniz is a famous place, Oh, this is not Alanya. Oh, Fethiye it is. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Antalya, it comprises a lot of touristic activities as well as facilities, touristic facilities, and a number of hotels and things. Our people have already mentioned about Pamukkale area, Antalya, Cappadocia, yeah, and Topkapı Palace, which is the most known places in Turkey. It's a huge palace that was constructed almost 250 years ago. And there are a lot of touristic and historical pieces in that palace. That is the entrance, the main door of Dolmabahçe Palace, which is a nice place in Istanbul as well. Okay, as I said, Turkey is sort of bridge between Europe and Asia. Here you can actually see that the two bridges in Istanbul, they are symbols of that kind of, let's see, theory. Turkey is a bridge. Right. And Grand Bazaar, Egyptian Bazaar are two famous places. You can see a lot of jewelry stores in Grand Bazaar. And this is Ephesus. This is one of the places that attract tourists every year. And this is the place where I came from, actually, Izmir. Okay, it's a nice city, the third largest city in Turkey. It includes a lot of sceneries, nice places. Here we go. And our friends already mentioned about Turkish cuisine. Döner kebab, I've already seen a number of döner kebabs here in Bidgoş as well. You know, Istanbul döner kebab. We should try it sometime. And Turkish coffee and delights, maybe. Yeah, open market food. And shish kebab, Adana kebab. I'm sure 100% of you already have eaten some shish kebab. And these are the varieties of Turkish cuisine. Istanbul Taksim is a nice place, a boulevard, and it's under construction nowadays. Turkish Parliament building. And our parliamentarians are in a session. They are sleeping now, most probably. They are not? Okay. And Muslim of Atatürk, you know that he is the founder of the modern Turkey, our leader. That will never change. And Bodrum is another nice place, especially for touristic activities. And this is the university where I came from, and my friend came over, and Izmir University. It's a relatively small university with 3,500 students, and these are some samples. You know, a lecturer, professor. And this lady is actually a Ukrainian lady, yeah. Her name is Sylvia, a professor of electronics. And they are, all our engineering branches are educated in English. So she has a good command of English. Izmir University again, yeah. Any question about Turkey? Yeah, that concludes my introduction. Thank you.